Hello there everybody, this is Graham, also known as the Collector75, and welcome back to another Transformers review. I'm filming this one just after I'd done my masterpiece Megatron, and because of that I thought I'd go back to something that was relatively easy. Yeah, so I just thought I'd do what could be easier really than a few Pretenders. Someone did ask me to do these quite a while ago actually, and I just had a number of figures already just up on my shelf that I just wanted to do. But seeing as I've done all them now, I'm just going to crack on with some of these Pretenders. Someone asked me to do Quick Switch as well, and there is a reason why I haven't done him, because I just don't like the figure really. But I'm going to do that one. And also I'm going to do a few Crazy Devi videos, so I've got quite a lot of the parts now. Right, anyway, let's crack on with these. Who should we start with first? Let's start off with probably the best known one. These are of course the small Decepticon Pretenders. These were some of the last Pretenders they actually made. Actually, apart from the Pretender Monsters, I don't actually have those. I'm a bit gutted about that. Mainly because they're quite expensive now. Anyway, this is Bludgeon. These, to be honest, probably would have been the most unnoteworthy Decepticons, and the Autobot ones as well, to be honest. Unless, of course, it was for the comic. The comic did big these guys up big time, even making this fella Decepticon leader. Which I really did like, actually. I loved this guy in the comic. And I've got the Revenge of the Fallen Bludgeon, or is it Hunt for the Decepticons Bludgeon, something like that. Mainly thanks to a nice chap from America who sent that to me. That was very much appreciated, thank you. Anyway, yeah, so, and I want to get the is it the Head Robots blood for that guy, but I'm not quite sure when that's coming out at the moment. That's a bit of a shame. Anyway, let's get back to this guy. Yeah, so this guy is a Pretender, and the idea behind these guys was just that you had a shell with the robot hiding inside. Really, that's about it. Really. These, to be honest, these were the only more humanoid Decepticon ones that they actually made. Actually, all the rest were some sort of monsters or something like that. All the Autobot ones were virtually all human, apart from one, I believe. Apart from, unless you count the Pretender Beasts and whatever. Right. Anyway, this sword, I don't even know where I found it, but I just gave him a sword. It doesn't actually come with a sword, which is really silly and a big mistake if you ask me. Came with the white gun. And this is his arm shield, which does form, of course, the tank turret in tank mode, of course. He's very Skeletor looking from Masters of the Universe. Here we go, let's just get a nice face. There you go, close up on his face there. As you'll notice, I've managed to paint in red eyes, because it was just all white and I got a bit bored of that. And I also done a bit of the black up his nose. I was trying to like flesh it out, if you can imagine. There was actually some cavities there. Unfortunately, it ends up, I don't know if it's going to pick it out too well if I get it close. It looks like he's got nostril hair up his nose, which is just quite funny, really. And also painted a few bits on the helmet. Don't ask me why I done that. I was a bit bored, I think. Other than that, the articulation he's got is just moving in the arms. That's what all Pretenders do. None of the legs move. They're just solid. Bit of a mistake, really. Anyway, right, let's get this guy into, well, robot mode, I suppose. Pardon me. Right, so we remove his helmet, revealing an all white head. He looks kind of like, I watched Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey the other day. It's like the Grim Reaper out of that, actually, funny enough. Anyway, right, so we separate the shell half, like that, and as you can see, we have the robot inside. Put that down there for a second. And the good thing about these, I suppose, is you can reconnect it, and it does become an extra action figure. So you get two for the price of one, I suppose. That's actually pretty good. Anyway, let's move on, because I'm taking far too long over this. I didn't think it'd be this long. Anyway, right, so we get him in this shape, and then we just stick the tank turret back on. And that is Bludgeon in tank mode, and he's like a nice little green tank. Doesn't really do a lot. The turret will move, but then again, it's just stuck on, so you'd be a bit gutted if it didn't. And that's it, really. Nothing else to it. I do have some upgrade stickers for this. I am going to put them on at some point whenever I can be bothered. Right, to transform it, it's very, very easy. Just take off the tank turret again. This is a bit annoying because you can have it on in robot mode, but then you can't move the arms. So I suppose you're just, again, supposed to stick it back on the shell, I suppose. The transformation is ridiculously easy, which I do like. Actually, no, you don't even pull the legs out, you just flip them around, as far as I remember. Yeah, there we go. Just flip the legs around, and then just here, there's a little tab. I don't know if it's going to show up too well, it's a bit silhouetted in this light for some reason. Push that up, reveals his head. I'll make sure I go up all the way. There we go. And then the arms are just here, and so you can move them like that. Then you take the gun out of this, if it wants to come out. It normally does. And then you just pop it. He's got a little hole just on there. And we pop that in there, and that becomes his little robot gun. And that is Bludgeon in robot mode. I suppose he's just a bit taller than a Micromaster, really. I'm going to do some of them, actually. Someone else might do some Micromaster reviews. So I'm going to do some of them, along with some Action Masters. I'll say I'm going to do them. Probably take me about a year to get around to doing them. Usually does. Right, so that's Bludgeon in robot mode. He's not bad. The only articulation you're getting is in the arms, but I don't know. I quite like him on some sort of level, really. I never had him as a kid. The only one I had as a kid was the Autobot Pretender Pincher. Right, next one. I'm going to leave this one till last, actually, because I like that one. Right, this next one is Stranglehold. And here we go here. You can see this is the only real human one that they ever made for the Decepticons. He is, if you go by his bio, he's supposed to be some sort of wrestler. Do not read the fucking bio, because it is fucking shit. It just makes me laugh. Some of those bios, I don't know who wrote them. Anyway, as you can see, he comes with this nice white gun, little helmet there, and that's like a shield which you've got to attach to the robot in animal mode. In the comic, of course, he came with like a ball and chain, and I wish he'd come with that. That would have been brilliant. I was thinking maybe of using my Masterpiece Megatron one, or just the one, the ball and chain that you get with a normal G1 reissue of Megatron, and giving him that, like repainting it or something. That'd be quite cool, I think. Anyway, right, so let me just take off this horrible gun. These guns are made out of this soft white plastic, so you leave them in the sunlight or something like that. One, they'll discolour, and two, I don't know if you can see this one, it's actually bowed. You could sort of leave it that way until it'll bow the other way. But right, yeah, so this is him in Pretender mode. Yeah, well, that's got to come off anyway. He's alright. He's got a bit of a Tom Selleck feature going on there. He looks like he's going to be in an advert for Specsavers soon or something like that. You know, he's alright, I suppose. He's alright, I suppose. Don't know what else to say, really. Anyway, right, so we're going to take this guy. I'll take the robot out anyway. Take his helmet off, like that. Put it down there. And then just split the shell. And as you can see, the little robot's hiding in there. Put him down there. And with some of the Pretenders, we do have a little gun just hidden in there. So you can detach that, put that down there. And this is what you normally find on most Pretenders, is that, especially these fellas, is that the little guns are always missing. You know, you're going to pop that one down there. And so we end up with this. This is the form that you have to get him to fit inside the shell. We're going to just transform him quickly into animal mode, or rhinoceros mode, I think he actually is. All we do is we just fold down the legs, that's all we're doing really. And then we've got to stick this thing on the back. Yeah, I don't exactly know why. To be honest, they probably could have not bothered, to be honest. But that's him in, I suppose, is it rhinos? Is he a rhino? Yeah, he looks a bit like a rhino, doesn't he? See the face there. It's okay, I suppose. Not the best, obviously. Let's just transform this very, very quickly. And what we've got to do is again fold out the legs like that. Rotate these sort of backwards into a position like that. If I can just do it. There we go. Just so they end up giving them a little bit of support, because sometimes these little figures can be a little back heavy. And so just putting them like that just gives you a little bit of extra support. I suppose you could just put them straight up against the side, but it will probably get in the way of the arms if I just do that. You can usually do that with them as well, but then it will get in the way of the arms, so I just do that. I know it doesn't look very pretty and it's got a bit of kibble, but there we go. Right, so then we put his little robot gun in his little robot hand, and as you can see, it doesn't look too bad. Let's put him in next to Bludgeon, and you know, they're not too bad. They're in the same scale of each other, I suppose. The funny thing, I'm just going to go back to Bludgeon for 1 second. The funny thing about Bludgeon is, of course, in the G2 comics, he actually went up against the Generation 2 Megatron, which is like, you've got Bludgeon down here, Megatron's up here somewhere. Bit out of scale with that, really. Shame. So there we go. Anyway, let's get back to Stranglehold. As you can see, the names all relate to their shells, not the actual inner robot or what they transform into, really. Which is kind of strange, because you'd think that in the comic the shells were created long after they actually had their robot forms. So there we go. Anyway, that's Stranglehold in robot mode. It's not bad actually, I don't mind that. I quite like these guys when I first got these. When did I get these? Oh, about 90, 94, 95, maybe 96, somewhere around then I picked up all these guys. At first I didn't know what weapons they came with. I think I had Bludgeon without most of his weapons, and I think I managed to pick up bits here and there. And this is probably one of my favourite ones actually. This is Octopunch. It's obviously some sort of sea monster from the depths, like you would see in some sort of B movies from the 50s. He's got this great, I love that helmet that looks, you know, like a deep sea diver from years ago. Absolutely fantastic. He's got the tentacles off his arms. I really do love this figure. I think it is definitely one of the best looking. And especially the way the guy was in the comics, what I really did love, especially in the G2, is that when you had all the second generation Cybertronians attacking the Decepticons, and they had just all sort of like similar robot sort of forms flying along, and then all the Decepticons, with the original G1 Decepticons, popped out of their little war world, and they looked fucking crazy. They had these guys popping out who didn't look like Transformers at all. And you had just all manner of different people, and it just sort of made me smile a little bit, and it because it harked back to that silliness of G1. And as much as you don't like some things like this, sometimes they do. I don't know. They make me smile anyway, and I do like displaying them. I do like these guys. Anyway, yeah. So this is Octopunch. It comes with this strange little white gun. Again, that soft sort of plastic. We're going to take that out, and then we're left with this. The arms do move as usual. The same with on all figures. These are the claws here. We need these for the alt mode for Octopunch. We're going to take them off just now because otherwise they have a tendency to fall off. And then also, actually, you know, let's get a close up. I don't know if it's going to go too well in there. You can sort of see his face in there. I actually glued a little bit of translucent plastic just in there because there is no plastic. And I loved it in the comic when you'd see him, when you just see the glass sort of glinting with these two red eyes hidden behind it. I was thinking maybe of either painting some red eyes on or just sticking a few stickers on the inside and redoing it to get that effect, but I quite like it because you can just sort of see his face poking through there in the eyes. I quite like it. Yeah, I think he's got a great Pretender shell. I love it. And anyway, right, to transform it, well, to get the robot out, we have to get the helmet off, which is a great big helmet. Absolutely fantastic. That sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it? Anyway, and then we're left with this. It's sort of like an alien type monster stroke, I don't know. The Elephant Man, I suppose you could say that. He's got like a bit of metal that's been on his head here, which would have been nice if that had been painted. That would have looked so good, but unfortunately it's just the same colour as the rest of the head. A bit of a letdown. Right, anyway, let's crack this guy open. And there we go. And the little robot is in there. And his little strange little gun is in his leg. Put that down there. The only little gun that I'm missing is for Double Header, which is one of the Autobot small Pretenders. These guys are just a bit tiny than the original Pretenders, I think. Got one of these. I haven't got one for a bit of size comparison, unfortunately, but yeah, about there. Not much more, only about an inch or two bigger. But the real difference is on the size of the robots, which we will see when I come to these. Well, we're going to start off with the robot mode because he's virtually in robot mode already. We're just going to pop his little head up, like that. We're going to pop his little gun. His gun goes in a little hole on the side of his arm there for some reason. Well, obviously because they couldn't be bothered to put it on his bloody hand, but there we go. And so it looks a little bit sort of strange, but that's Octopunch in robot mode. And it's alright. You can, don't know if it's going to zoom in too well on his head. It's not too bad. Not at all really. Is it up all the way? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I had to put a little Decepticon sign there on his arm because these guys do not come with a label sheet or anything, and there was no Decepticon sign, so I had to put them all on. So all the Decepticon signs you see on this, I've had to put on. Yeah, it's alright, isn't it? He's got a little bit of outward movement on his arm and his legs, but that's hampered by the arms, so you can't do a lot about that. Let's transform this guy anyway. Take the little gun off and pop his head back down. And that's it. And these legs, just position them out to form claws, and then we get these little legs, and as you can see, one ridge, I don't know if it's going to zoom in too well on that, one ridge on these legs is higher than the other. That will fit into this side where you can see there's a perfectly formed gap for it to go in. Hey, there we go, nearly dropped it. So that just pops in there. Get that in there. And these do stay in, actually. I was surprised, because normally, especially on toys they sold, you'd find that they fall out. And so that's Octopunch. He forms like a crab, which is damn good. I actually really like it, actually. Yeah, and we can open up these claws. I remember I was going to get this guy when I was a kid. I ended up getting Pincher because he forms like a scorpion. I only didn't get this guy because I thought I was buying too many Decepticons and didn't have enough Autobots. Really, I should have got this guy because obviously I liked the look of this guy even back then when I was like about, I don't know, 12, 13, however old I was at the time. Really good. I like that. Right, so that is the Decepticon Small Pretenders. This video has probably gone on for way longer than I actually thought it would, actually. But I like them. Right, yeah. So this has been Graham, the Collector 75, and I shall see you all next time. Bye for now.